Hey guys, Jeffries here, and welcome back to FMTB. And as promised, the FA Cup second qualifying round. Before we get into that, I'll show you the recent results again. Mixed, I think it's fair to say. There's the match against Farnborough. Since then, drew against Bath with a goal from Torres. Drew against Sutton with a goal from Yemi. Beat Gosport, goals from what we got? Ngasa, Robinson and Oderbade, and a missed penalty from Torres. Excuse me. Bad time to yawn, as per. Beat Wealdstone, 2 goals from Irvine, who's turning out to be a very, very good player, as I predicted. And beat Stortford, goals from Irvine and Mills. Again, Irvine, very, very good match from him. And we are playing against a team called... Where are we? Here we are. VCD. I've never actually heard of these guys before. They haven't got that many players to look out for. Don't have any real skill or ability anyway. No disrespect to them. Don't even know what league they're in. But here we go. We're going to go for the... let's go for this formation. Because I'm not used to picking players for this formation, we'll see what our assistant says first, and then we'll make changes. So, our assistant says... Now, this is the one I want to change. Atkins in goal. 3-star. Whereas we've got Gune on the bench, who's 3.5-star. And I'm sort of torn between which ones to go for, because I've seen Gune make mistakes, but I've also seen Atkins make mistakes. So it's a real case of who do we pick? It's a real tricky one. I also want to put some midfielders on the bench, because I don't have any. So I think if we take out Robinson, we'll put Rissa there. And if we put Deering on the bench... No, let's not put Deering on the bench. We've got Kissick there. That'll do. Oh, we need a sub centre-back. So let's take Hills out. And we'll put... In fact, do we have a sub centre? We don't, really, do we? No, we don't. Oh, dear. That's not very good. Okay. So our line-up is Atkins in goal. And then the back three of Chonang Ngasa, Cadmore, Lorraine. And then the wing-backs are Sankofa and Kujabi. Midfield is Abdullah, Casabella and Torres. And then up front we've got Tunkara and Oderbade. And then on the bench we've got Gune, Driver, Irvine, Mills, Hills, Kissick and Rissa. I'm pretty happy with that team. Let's do this. Let's get a decent result. Head towards the cup. Get a decent cup run going. We'll earn quite a bit of money from that. I'd like to think the money from that would go towards our transfer budget for January, because this squad is going to need improving in January. Bloody hell, look at all those scores shooting by. This first half. Wow. Nothing happened in that first half. That is the quickest first half I think I've ever seen on this game. Something needs to change. So I'm going to bring off Casabella. And I'm going to throw on Rissa. Just like that. I was going to say we benefit from a formation change, but I don't think we actually will. So I'm going to leave that as is for now. Just trying to think what tactical changes we could make. Okay. Advanced tactics. We're going to go for the... let's go for the diamond. Put Torres out on this side. Cadmore, oh yeah, that's going to be tricky. Right, Cadmore we'll put at left back. Kujabi we'll put there. We'll swap those two over as well. That should be better. Let's do that. And also while we're here, I'm going to bring this back down to where it was before. There we go. So that's yeah. That match has flown by. So what we're going to do, I don't want this episode to just be 4 minutes long. That's way too short. What's our next match? Oh, it's the replay. Okay, that works out for us. We'll go straight into the replay. What's that about setting a new record? Oh, Lorraine was out for 4 weeks with broken ribs. Do you know what? I didn't even notice that he'd been out injured. I thought he'd just been out of the side. 6 games unbeaten is a new White Hawk record. Bloody hell. I swear they just got promoted into this league. Or this is the second season in this league. So I'm surprised they haven't had more than 6 games unbeaten before now. That really is a surprise. Right, what's this? Right midfielder. Irvine is getting a reasonable amount of first team football due to my playing him outside of the agreed position. If I had to play him in the specified position, it would damage his chances of playing regularly. See, I thought Ronald Koeman would be happy that he's not only playing regularly, but he's scoring regularly too. Playing in that right winger role. And doing well in that right winger role. So what have we got? Johnson is out for a day with a strained wrist. And Spiller is out for between 1 and 4 days with a twisted ankle. We always have players injured. We never have a fully fit squad. I don't even come close to winning Manager of the Month. Yemi won last month's Player of the Month. He's not on the list this time. Josh Ekim, though, who scored those 2 long ranges against us for Staines, he's made the list. Right, notable training performances. Torres is getting better with tactics. Robinson's getting worse with tactics. Kajabi is worse with aerobic. Abdullah and Mills are improving tactically, though, so that's good. That's very good. What's this? Oh, it's that. Right. Okay. I think I'm getting my head around this. So there's 7 players who are unhappy with the training regime. Oh, I mean, Barnes Homer's just unhappy with everything right now. He was moaning at me for not getting enough game time before. So I said to him that he wasn't good enough, and he said he wanted to leave. So I put him up for transfer, and no one was interested. So that's fun. Let's go for that one formation. Again, see what the assistant says. So Gune in goal. Sankofa, Ngoy, Cadmore, Kujabi, Abdullah and Deering in midfield. Irvine, Kissick and Mills, and then Yemi up front. And then a bench of Atkins, Driver, Torres, Robinson, Hills, Rissa, Barnes, Homer. I want Lorraine on the bench, so we'll take out Hills for that. Everybody else, I think it's fine. Yeah. See if Barnes Homer does a better job than Tunkara. Let's do this. I have a feeling this episode's now going to overrun, because we're playing 2 matches instead of 1. But because it's against the same opposition, it kind of counts as a single match. That's the justification I'm using for it anyway. Alright, Walker with the ball forward, Cadmore with the header back. Mills picks up. Yemi's sort of walking around the pitch at the moment. He needs to be moving a bit quicker, get into some better positions. Abdullah out wide to Sankofa. Now if he crosses a ball like the other players in the team, he does sort of. And there's Irvine with the goal. Tell you what, if Oderbade had scored directly from that cross, I might be saying better things about the cross. It was a very good ball in from Sankofa. It's just a shame that Yemi couldn't make the most of it. However, Irvine coming in at that near post on the rebound is just as good in my opinion. And again, Ronald Koeman should be watching that, realising that he's got a bright young talent here on loan at White Hawk doing good things. and shouldn't be complaining about something as trivial as the fact that he's playing 5 yards further up the pitch than was promised. Alright, Abdullah. Is he going to knock it out to Kissick? He's not. He's going to knock it to Odebaid. Long range shot over the bar. I think Kissick would have been the better option there. Swing it back into the near post area. Try and get someone attacking it. It's the second ball. You might hear this a lot when you're watching football coverage. Pundits talk about it. Winning the second ball is so important in modern day football. That dictates whether the team successfully defends the set piece or whether the attacking team successfully attacks the goal. So in that case, the original corner was cleared, but the guy who took the corner in the first place was still out wide and in acres of space. So if you get the ball out to him, it's almost like he gets to take the corner again, but from slightly closer to the box, which means you can get better trajectory on the ball, more runners in the centre, and the opposition defence can be a bit more complacent as well, because they think their job's done, they've cleared it once. And, you know, a lot of goals are scored from that these days. You see a lot of goals where the ball comes into the box, is headed out to the edge of the area, and someone runs onto it and blasts it in. That's getting the second ball. Good goal. Yemi Odebaid. Great cross from Irvine, who again is outperforming everybody. And there's a Yemi. Was he at the near post, would you say, or would you say he was more in the centre? I think he was more in the centre. It's a close one. He was running into the near post area from the centre. It doesn't really matter. We're winning 2-0. We're playing a lot better. I think the players are struggling to adapt to that 5-3-2 formation because we don't really use it that often. That was the first time I'd used it since pre-season. And, you know, we build up a lot of our play from wing play with Irvine and Mills running down those flanks. So I think to get Sankofa and I think it was Kujabi, wasn't it, playing left wing back, to try and get them to replicate that in a 5-3-2, you're not going to get the same result. You're not going to get as many runs down the wing. You're not going to get as many crosses into the box because we had to have players like Lorraine play at centre back as well, not as mobile as the centre back partnership we've got now with Ngoy and can't speak. I really can't speak today. Cadmore and Ngoy in centre back partnership. We have a very young team out there. We have some experience. Some of our players are a lot older than I thought they were actually, which was a little bit surprising. But at the same time, we've got young players. I think Yemi's our oldest player out there. I think he's 30 now. I think so. I think Kissick is late 20s as well. Then you got players like Mills, who's only 22. So it's a real mix. I normally like to go for a young team, but I'm learning myself that experience is good as well. Oh yes, Yemi. He hit that so hard it bounced out of the net. Yeah. It bounced off the back of the net and out again. Good flick on there from Mills. Great play from Kissick into Yemi. Skips past his man and then thumps it in at that near post. I think it's fair to say there that the keeper, not much he could have done about that. Apart from maybe grow 3 feet taller and throw himself across the entire goal. There wasn't a lot else he could do. Let's bring Driver on for Kujabi because he's still coming back from a serious injury. Let's bring Robinson on for Mills as well. Give Mills a rest so he's ready for the next league match. I think this formation, the 4-2-3-1, I think this is definitely going to be the one we'll use from now on. It seems to be our most successful formation. We've won more matches with this formation than any other. Even the 4-4-2 diamond, that was pretty successful in pre-season. I think at the time it's because it was more I couldn't be bothered to make a third tactic, rather than I didn't make a third tactic. Whereas now we're seeing maybe creating that third tactic was a good idea. This isn't just a tactic. I had this asked to me actually. Someone, I think it was James Perry, asked me this. Brought up a very interesting point. He said, you know, most managers, they choose a tactic and then they sign players to fit that tactic. Whereas the question that was asked to me was, do I follow that strategy or do I create a tactic and then fit players into it? And the answer to that is actually that answer. I sign players who may or may not fit my tactic, and then I train them to fit my tactic. So at the start of their careers with us, they're not very good. They don't fit in the tactic very well. They get confused. They lose the ball. They're in the wrong places at the wrong times. And it is a bit of a mess. And that's normally why I sign my players early, so that you have the first 2 or 3 matches of pre-season to sort of get that rustiness out of the way. And then once they start picking up on how you want to play and where you want the ball to go and things like that, that's when something tweaks and they start to learn about the tactics. So by the time the season kicks off, late August, they're on song. They know what they're doing. They cooperate with their teammates well. Everything works beautifully, and you end up with a decent team. Doesn't always happen that way. You do end up with some players that don't fit the strategy even after a season, and then you have to start considering whether they should be in the team or not. My FMTB from last season, 2014, we had a couple of incidents like that where players we signed were released not long afterwards because they just wouldn't fit the strategy. And it's not a 100% foolproof scheme. It's just when it does work, it works really well. You can sign a really cheap player, you know, either for a very, very small transfer fee or even on a free transfer. Good example, Tom Lawrence. If you remember him from my Fleetwood team. Free transfer. Quite a bit in wages, admittedly, but a free transfer all the same. And look how good he became. He was our top scorer when we won promotion from League One. Fantastic individual, really, really good player. And yet, we played him through the middle, whereas all the times I've seen him play in real life, he's been playing on the left-hand side. And I think even on FIFA, he's listed as a left winger. Yet, because I'm Football Manager, he says he plays through the middle. I played him through the middle. I retrained him so that he could play as a trequartista, and it worked. Really, really strong player, really good scorer of goals. That's one example where it did work. I'm sure many of you are watching my videos. You can name about 3 or 4 players where it didn't work. And you know, I admit it doesn't work with everybody. But the strategy I use is sign the team, create the tactic, merge the two together. Not a single one of these players, I would say, naturally fits into any of these 3 tactics. Yet now we have this 4-2-3-1 formation with these wing-backs and these wingers, and it works. Even with the trequartista, you saw Kissick set up Yemi's goal. How far up the pitch was he for that flick on from Mills? And yet it worked. They fit together really well. They work really well together. And we end up winning matches because of it. So whilst it's working like that, there's no need to change it. There's no need to worry about it. It's only when things start to go wrong that you need to start tweaking it a little bit. And I did do that. You remember the midfield was a bit too high up the pitch, or actually to start with, they were too deep. I made a couple of changes, and there was a couple of matches I played off camera where they were a bit too high, and there was a bit of a space here. Whereas before that, there was a massive space in this sort of gap here. Whereas now, they seem to work together really well. The partnership, Abdullah normally on this side, and Spiller here. I think that's my best midfield partnership. They work together really, really well. And this right-hand side, I've said this before, Irvine can work well with Sankofa or Cadmore. It very much depends on which one of them happens to be playing there at the time. Kujabi is only just back from injury, so we're yet to see how he adapts. But the rest of the team, especially Odebeid up front, works really, really well. And I'm surprised, actually, that Mills has made that left midfield position his own. Because I thought it would be more of... where is he? Where is he? Robinson. I thought Robinson, when he comes back from injury, would make the position his. But Mills is doing very, very well to hold him off. Anyway, I think I've yacked on for long enough in this episode. Played 2 matches, drawn 1, won 1. We are through to the next qualifying round of the FA Cup, which is good. That's one step closer to the competition proper. And a big payday for us, hopefully. So, let's have a look at the schedule. I think the next time we come back will be this match, Margate at home in the 3rd qualifying round. And again, we'll do the updates, how these 2 matches got on. And until then, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. If you have already subscribed to my channel, thank you guys for your continued support. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed watching the video, and until next time, I will see you soon.